Vision Forward's In Focus team presents.
Hi, this is Luke Scriven here at Vision Forward. Welcome back to another In Focus Tech Talk. In today's Tech Talk, we're taking a look at some useful shortcuts that you should know for Microsoft Word. And a lot of these shortcuts can actually be used anywhere that you're able to enter text on your computer, and so they're applicable to more than just Word. But why should we bother learning keyboard shortcuts? Well, as a person with a visual impairment or a person who's sighted, keyboard shortcuts are much more efficient ways of doing things around your computer. You do have to do some memorization up front, so maybe they are more work to begin with, but that certainly pays dividends when you have remembered them. They will allow you to operate your computer a lot more efficiently, a lot more easily, and without having to look at small menu items and that type of thing. So here we are in Word. Let's take a look at some of the shortcuts which are useful. First thing I'm going to do here is type out some text. So we'll type out hello, how are you today? Oops, if I can spell here. There we go. Okay. First of all, let's move our cursor to the beginning of the document. And the way that we're going to do that, we're going to hold down Control and press the Home key. And my cursor will move right to the beginning of the document there. Let's move the cursor now to the end of the document. We're going to hold down Control and press the End key. And now we've moved the cursor to the end of the document. And so that's nice and convenient. Now, if I had more than one line, so let's create a new line here. I'm going to type out, I am doing well, thank you. So now we can move our cursor to the beginning of this line. So not the beginning of the document, just the beginning of the line that we're currently on. In order to do that, we are going to press the Home key without Control. So just the Home key on its own. And that's moved the cursor to the start of the line this time. I'll press the End key on its own to move to the end of that line. If I add Control again, so I'll hold down Control and press Home. Now our cursor has moved to the beginning of the document. I'll hold down Control and press End, and now our cursor has moved to the end of the document. Let's go ahead and move the cursor to the beginning of the document here. And so I'm sure that you know already, if we press the right arrow, we will move the cursor letter by letter. So I can move over these letters here. There's the H, E, L, L, O. But what if we want to make things a bit faster? Let's hold down Control and use the right and left arrow keys to move word by word. And as we do that, our cursor is jumping over each word. So that's a nice little navigation trick there. If we want to move line by line, of course, we can just press the up and down arrow keys. So I'm on the top line, I've moved down to the next line, I've moved down to the next line by using the down arrow. Now let's press the up arrow and we've moved back up to the top line again. We can now start to use these tools and add shift onto them to select text. And there's many times that we might want to select text if we want to change the font or make it bold or italic or delete specific words. We can select text in order to do that. So let's use our navigation controls again here. We just found out that using just the arrow keys, the right and left arrow keys on their own, moves the cursor letter by letter. If we add shift to that, we're going to select letter by letter. So I've selected the H, the E, the L, the L, the O by holding shift and using the right arrow. I can unselect by just holding shift and going backward over a selected area. So if I hold shift and press the left arrow, now I'm unselecting that area. We discovered previously that holding Control and using the right and left arrow keys moves the cursor word by word. If we add shift to that, so now we would hold Control and shift, and now when we press the right and left arrow keys, we will select word by word. So I've selected hello, how are you today? And again, if I go backward over that, it will unselect those words. So Control Shift left arrow, and we are unselecting the words that we just selected. Again, very handy. And of course, we also discovered that pressing the up and down arrow keys moves us line by line, and we can select in the same way. So hold down Shift, press the down arrow, we've selected the first line here all at once. Press the down arrow again, we've selected the next line, press the down arrow again, we've selected the third line there. And again, if we go backward over those areas, so hold shift and press the up arrow, and we can go ahead and unselect those areas. So those are some very useful navigation and selecting tools that we have at our disposal there. Let's go ahead and select some text and find out about some other shortcuts. So I'll select the top line here. And the first shortcut we're going to look at is making this line bold. So when we have text selected, we can choose to make it bold, and rather than pressing the B in the ribbon, we can use a keyboard shortcut which will be Control and the letter B. Pressing Control and B will make this text bold. Let's do it. And there we go, it's nice and bold. We can do something similar here. We can make this text italic by pressing Control I, and underline it by pressing Control U. And if we want to remove those things, we can just go ahead and use the command again. So to remove the underline, we can do Control U. To move the italic, we can do Control I. To remove the bold, we can do Control B. So that's some nice handy shortcuts there. Rather than having to go to the ribbon at the top and do those things, we can just do them with keyboard shortcuts. Very useful. Now let's take a look at how to make this text larger, increasing the font size without having to use the mouse. The key command for this is going to be Control and Shift and then the period key. So let's do Control Shift period. And here we see it's getting larger and larger and larger. The more times we press the period, the larger it will get. And Control Shift and the comma will go ahead and make that text smaller. Let's do that again. It's very easy just to make the text really nice and large, or if we like to, really nice and small. So again, very useful shortcuts that we have there. Now we can also use the keyboard to justify the text, that is to tell the computer where we want the text to line up. By default it lines up on the left in the Western world because we read from left to right. But let's say this was a title, we could align it center. We're going to again be using our Control key here, and we're going to do Control E. We can't do Control C because that's copy, and we'll be looking at that in a second. So we do Control E instead for center, and there we go. If we want to justify to the right, Control R, and if we want to justify back to the left, Control L. Again, some very useful shortcuts there. Now let's talk about cutting, copying, pasting, undoing, and redoing. I find that all of these are exceptionally useful keyboard shortcuts and can be used all over the computer, you know, wherever you want to copy from, or wherever you want to paste into, whenever you want to undo or redo, you can use these commands. So again, we already have our top line selected at the moment, and if we use our copy command, we're going to copy all of the words in that line. To copy, we're going to do Control C. Now the computer has copied. Now let's move our cursor down to the next line, and now we're going to paste the text that we just copied. And to do that, it's going to be Control V, which is directly next to C, so nice and handy. Control V, and there we go, we've pasted the text that we just copied. Now I just realized I need to undo that. I didn't mean to do that, and luckily I can easily undo that last action, and that's going to be Control Z or Control Z, and again that's on the same row as C and V, so nice and easy. So I'm going to do Control Z, and now we've just undone the last action that we took, and we can undo up to, I think it may be up to 100 actions, so you can keep on undoing if you've made, you know, multiple errors. But I just realized I didn't actually make a mistake after all. I did mean to do that. So now I need to redo, and to redo we're going to be doing Control Y. So this one's a little different. Y is on the top row, but let's go ahead and do that. Control Y, and now we've just redone our undo. So that gets a little bit confusing because we've redone our undo, but I think you'll get the idea when you start to use it. Now instead of copying, I could choose to cut instead. With copying, it will leave the thing that we've copied, and then so when we paste, then the original thing will still be there, and it will also be where we've pasted it. With cut, it will remove the thing that we cut, and so when we paste it, there will just be the new one where we've pasted. Let's see that in action here. So I'll select the top line here, and cut is going to be Control X. Again, it's on that same row along with Z, C, and V. So let's do a Control X, and the sentence that I had selected has disappeared now, but it's on the clipboard, which means I can paste it. And so let's create a new line, and we'll do a Control V to paste. Let's do that again with the middle line here. So I'll select this line, I will do a Control X to cut it. It's disappeared, but it's on the clipboard. So now when I do Control V to paste, then it's going to go ahead and paste that information. So that's all the shortcuts that I wanted to show you for today. I hope those are useful. Just some simple ways to help increase your efficiency with using the computer, and some really useful commands that you can use in multiple places, including in Microsoft Word. If you have any questions about this or any assistive technology questions, please feel free to get in touch with us. You can call 414-615-0103. You can email infocus@vision-forward.org, and you can visit our website vision-forward.org. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. We release new videos every Friday, so keep your eyes peeled for those, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.